What is up, everyone, and welcome to the Game Week 11 deadline stream. How are you guys doing? Welcome to another stream, another deadline. Yes, I kind of agree that it's probably not the best, deadline in terms of decisions, etc. I mean, not a lot to do in terms of transfers. I think a lot of us are holding fort, holding stations. I'm also till now. I mean, it's about an hour to go. But right now, my information on my strategy in terms of a transfer is probably save it and then get some more information, get some more idea in terms of the matches, matchups in general, fixtures again, and then kind of make a call for Game Week 12. But yeah, that's where I am. Still, welcome to the stream. 1 hour to go. We have, of course, there are still some dilemmas in terms of Neto injury, what to do with Botman, what to do with the Newcastle defense, how are people gauging the Newcastle-Arsenal game, what's going to happen in the Tottenham-Chelsea game, and whether we should have their defenders, what to do with Udogie, etc. So there are some doubts, there are some questions, and as always, please feel free to ask as many questions as you can on try to kind of gauge what's going to happen or what are the different elements involved in this particular week. In case if you have any doubts, please feel free to add that in the chat, and of course I'll be happy to help out. Whether it's a transfer question, whether it's let's say a wildcard question, whether it's a anything this that you just want to add in the chat, please feel free to do that. In terms of, I think that there are a couple of pointers, at least in my head, when I'm thinking about my moves. And one of them was a lot of people, a lot of players are kind of playing each other. And, that kind of course, negates the possibility of a bigger haul or a higher haul, unless you have a particular result going in a certain way. Let's say I have 3 Tottenham and, Tottenham absolutely blast Chelsea, and they also end up keeping a clean sheet. I think it could be a great game for 3 Tottenham assets, right? But on the other hand, if Chelsea do play really well and they probably win with a clean sheet, I think those Tottenham assets are going to struggle and the rank is probably going to go down a little bit. So that was my, thing, Poro versus Share. Of course, there are some doubts in terms of Share, being out because of illness. I still feel I'm a bit, let's say 60-40 or 70-30 in terms of, whether he has to or whether he will play. I think there is a chance that he plays. But that's my concern still. Let's see if we have some more information, if we get some other news before the deadline, some other leaks, etc. We can probably think about making a transfer. But right now, this is where I am. Hey, Devargya, hello to you. Welcome to the stream. You've sent your team. I've checked it on Instagram. You gotten Tsimikas in place of Tarkowski. I think it looks pretty good. There are a couple of different moves in terms of the players that you've gone for, and I think those are pretty good. So I think that's pretty decent. Hey Anush, you have to leave early, not a problem. So you need to make your transfer now. Is Trippier out for Guehi good on a free? Then I have 2.6. I could upgrade Gordon to Bowen on a -4. Is it worth it? I mean, if you look at a week or in a week perspective, I think, or this game week perspective, I think, a lot of people might say that, don't take a hit and it's absolutely fine. It might not get recovered and all that stuff. But I do feel that taking a hit this week is absolutely fine. See, downgrading a Trippier will always give a lot of money, right? And if you were able to utilize that money, you can do a Gordon to a Bowen. I think that's a really, really good upgrade. That also kind of sets you up for the upcoming weeks because Trippier has some tricky fixtures. Yes, there is potential, and I think Trippier will end up scoring some points for sure. But I do think somebody like a Bowen could outscore Trippier. Let's say if Newcastle don't keep a lot of clean sheets, they do have some tricky fixtures. They are at home, so Newcastle is a good team or a better team at home. But then again, they're slightly trickier games. So I think taking out Trippier is absolutely fine. Guehi is a safe option. I mean, don't really expect a lot of or any kind of attacking threat or, attacking impetus from him. But I do feel there is potential in the Crystal Palace team. Yes, the last couple of games, they have conceded a lot of goals. But I think in general, they are a decent defense. They are a settled defense. So I think Guehi is a boring bland pick. But I think it's a functional pick. It works. So you can definitely do Trippier to Guehi. If you don't have a Tsimikas, for example, I think a Trippier to Tsimikas, and if that kind of gives you the money, I think that is also a good option. So you can Upgrade of Gordon. Gordon is okay. Newcastle have the best XG in terms of expected goals throughout the season so far among all the attacking teams, among the top teams. But I still feel those fixtures are a bit tricky. I don't think so. He's probably going to get benched. Maybe an odd game he gets benched, but in general, I think he's going to play. Gordon to Bowen on a -4, I think it's absolutely fine. Sets you up for the upcoming games. These are two positions that you probably won't have to change, and I think that's a brilliant thing to kind of have. That you have some settled players in your team. You don't have to look at them unless, of course, there's some injury, there is some cancellations, or weird stuff can happen, of course. But other than that, I think it's a good move for a -4. Salah versus Luton or Haaland versus Bournemouth for captain. I'm assuming this for captaincy. I think Haaland against Bournemouth, it's of course a home game. That's a slight advantage for Man City and Haaland. Bournemouth, I mean, Luton away, Luton at home are generally a better defense as compared to what they are, at home. Having said that, it's Liverpool that they're facing. Liverpool is arguably the best attack in the league right now. Salah is in great form. I mean, he's returning in almost every game. I think in just one game, he's kind of missed out. Other than that, he's returned in every game that he's played. So I think there's a lot of potential in both, good potential in Salah. But because of the fact that it's a home game for Haaland, because of the fact it's Man City, yes, we tend to not see Man City scoring these 5, 6s, 7s, etc. now anymore. But I do think that even if Man City score a couple of goals, maybe 3 goals, I think Haaland can easily get a hat trick. So I think it's a conversation worth having, but I personally, in my mind, I don't think so. It's very, very close. I do think both of the players are going to do well, but I think that Haaland is going to outscore Salah, and I think that's the reason I feel Haaland is a better captaincy shout. Start Porro, Trippier. Trippier is great, great attacking threat, but it's Arsenal. Yes, it's a home game for Trippier, so traditionally they are stronger at home. And of course, I don't think so. Newcastle are a team who are going to sit back and defend deep and all that stuff. I think they're going to play their football. I think both teams are going to score. I was reading some statistic, I think, before coming on to the stream. I think in the last 10 odd games that they've played against each other, not many games have been a 0-0, or a very dull, bland, boring game. I think both teams are going to score goals, and I think there is good potential for the attackers specifically, and that's the reason I'm not very, very confident of a Trippier clean sheet, and that's the reason I think Porro is a better option, because Porro is against Chelsea, home game. Yes, Tottenham is also kind of playing like that Leeds-esque kind of attacking football where they are scoring a lot of goals, they're creating a lot of good opportunities. Porro has been really, really good, and that kind of makes them a little vulnerable at the back. They can lose that clean sheet. So I do think that Chelsea has the potential to score, but I still think Tottenham right now look very, very strong. And I think probably it's going to be a 2-0, I don't think so Chelsea is scoring in this game. And I think Porro can keep a clean sheet. Yes, there's still a potential for him to lose it. And I think both of them can lose it. I mean, Porro and Trippier. But when I'm comparing both, I think Porro just looks like he has a better potential in this week, because of the fact that I rate Arsenal, the overall team, the Arsenal team, much higher than the Chelsea team right now. And that's about it. Diaby or Bowen for Luis Diaz. If I'm looking at a short-term option, I think Diaby is great. In the next 2 or 3 fixtures, I think Diaby has good potential. He's definitely going to start most games. I mean, Nottingham Forest away, Fulham at home. Again, Aston Villa is another side who is much more stronger at home. And they have that Fulham game against home where he could go absolutely crazy. Tottenham away, Bournemouth away. Yes, they're away games, but Bournemouth, again, not a great defense. So I think till game week 14, Diaby is a good option. When we look at Bowen, on the other hand, Brentford away, tricky fixture, but I think there is potential in Bowen. Then it's Nottingham Forest at home, Burnley away, Palace at home, Tottenham away, Fulham at home, Wolves at home. Fulham away, yeah, and Wolves at home. So till 17 is at least what I'm seeing. They have good fixtures. I think even after that, they have Burnley, Crystal Palace. I think there's good potential. So I think if you're looking for a long-term option and you don't want to switch and chop and change, maybe you are trying to play a game where you're trying to rotate your premium options, or at least if you want to play like that, that's absolutely fine. But if you're looking for a long-term option, I think Bowen is great. Bowen is worth holding. But I think for the next 3 or 4, Diaby is good. I think both of them are going to do exceptionally well in the next 3 or 4 fixtures, and I don't see a huge difference between either of them. So it kind of depends if you have, if you can, push it to a Bowen, and if you want to keep it for slightly more long term, I think that'll probably save your one transfer, because of the fact that, let's say, if you want to get off from Aston Villa. You already have the likes of Cash, you have Watkins. So those are probably two transfers that you'll probably have to make. By going with the Bowen, you can avoid that one extra transfer, and you can just have Bowen, directly, and avoid that one extra transfer that you probably are going to make, right? So from that perspective, then Bowen becomes better. Guehi, Burn, Dinier, Simicast, one free transfer. Excuse me. I think again, as I said, Guehi is a good functional pick, boring pick, not going to give you any attacking returns. I mean, you're lucky if you get something from him. But I think Guehi is okay. I mean, he does the job for you. Pern, trickier fixtures. Home fixtures can keep clean sheets, maybe tight games. But yeah, I think if I have to pick one right now, I think Simicast will be my pick. There is potential. Liverpool have decent fixtures. Liverpool have started to keep clean sheets, and I think that's a good change to see. Brentford in game week 12. Before that, they also have a good fixture in Luton away, which is this week. So I think there's potential. Man City away in 13 is probably the only trickier fixture. And then they have a good run of 3 games, Fulham, Sheffield, and Crystal Palace. I mean, even Man United at home could be a great game, especially considering the fact that Man United are they're very poor. They're struggling at the moment. They have no direction. I can go on and rant about United in general, but I'm not going to do that. But yeah, I think Simicast is a good option. I think you go with him. Gordon to Adingra, Wang for -4, worth it. I mean, I don't think so. It's worth a hit. Again, depends on your plan. Adingra is still a bit of an unknown. Yes, he's 5 million. Yes, he's great because of the fact that he's 5 million and he's cheaper. He's playing for a good Brighton attack. But we kind of forget sometimes that there is potential for rotation. Yes, he's played majority games, so the expectation is that you will see him playing most games. Still, you can't say that because of course you're not deserving, and you don't know what he's gonna do. And I think he's generally been a bit difficult to predict. So I think that rules out my possibility of or my thinking in terms of going with Adingra, unless money was an issue. But if you can afford Wang, I think that's also okay. But personally, I don't think so. It's worth a hit. I think, yes, Gordon does have a trickier fixture, but I do feel that there will be some attacking impetus from Newcastle this week. Then they have Bournemouth away, Chelsea home, Man United. I mean, Chelsea home, Man United home are not that bad fixtures. I mean, to be very honest, I think a lot of people, maybe me included, are kind of overplaying Newcastle having very tricky fixtures and all that stuff. I do think, there is, yes, there might not be potential for a lot of clean sheets in there, but when we have players like Trippier, maybe even, somebody like a Share, Burn, if they play, I think they can still manage something from the Chelsea and United game. Then they have Everton, Tottenham, Fulham. So it's decent. I don't think so it's worth a -4 because you're not gaining a lot. Because yes, Sheffield United, Wolves have Sheffield this week, but I mean, they have Tottenham, Fulham away, Arsenal away. Yes, Fulham, Sheffield, Burnley, Forest have good pictures. But my slight issue with Wang as a pick is that we don't know what's going to happen to him now, considering that Neto is injured. Whether it's going to be beneficial for him, whether it's going to be difficult for him to get more points or get a haul or be that same explosive asset that he's probably been. So we don't know that right now. I think I'll probably want to look at least the Sheffield game. We'll probably have some more idea. Then it's Tottenham, so I can avoid him for the Tottenham game as well. But then you might think that the boat is kind of sailed. But Fulham, Burnley, Nottingham Forest in the next 4, 3 of the next 4, I think that's a good run as well. So I'll probably take a week just to see what Wang is doing and how he's doing. And if I want to, switch, chop and change, I can even do that, in game week, let's say 13. I can do this move, let's say a Gordon to a Wang in game week 13. I would have seen a couple of weeks from Gordon. I would have seen a couple of weeks from Wang as well. And I think that will probably make my decision a little bit easier. So that's what I'm thinking. Newcastle did score against United in Carabao Cup. I mean, yeah, absolutely. They're definitely going to go stronger. I don't think so. They are a team who are now going to sit deep and defend. Plus, Arsenal is also. I mean, what if you've also kind of seen and correct me if I'm wrong here. Arsenal play a lot more pragmatic. They play a lot more technical football now. It's not free flowing. Yes, they did beat Sheffield United by a big score, and that could be an outlier. But I necessarily don't see them scoring 4, 5, 6 goals and having 3, 4, 5 xGs, etc. I mean, yeah, it's probably asking for a lot. But I do think they're kind of becoming more like City, where they'll chalk out those 1-0, 2-0 wins, and yes, sometimes it might be 2-1. They might not keep the clean sheet and all that stuff. So I do think Arsenal, they're gonna be pragmatic. They're going to be slightly defensive. And yeah, I mean, Newcastle has all the potential to do well. And I think, we probably, as I said earlier, right, we're probably overplaying it a little bit in our head in terms of them having really difficult fixtures. I think they're tough fixtures, but they are saleable. I mean, you can get through them. Sell two to get Madders. Oh, sorry, I missed your earlier message. It's going great. Thank you for asking. I hope you're good too. Sell Saka or Bowen for Salah. I mean, if I have to sell one, see, if you're gonna go safer, you sell Bowen and you keep Saka. Saka's ownership is also very very high. Potential is there, but I mean, you'll get one better game from probably Bowen this week. Then it's Burnley home, Wolves home, Luton away, even Brentford away could be decent. Tricky one. I think safer option is to basically take out Bowen and keep Saka, and then of course get Salah. Yeah, sell two to get Salah, Matters. To get Salah, Matters, Saka, or Bowen. So basically, you have to sell two of these. I think if I'm personally, I'm okay going without Saka. I know maybe not a lot of people would like that or would do that. I do feel there is this slight situation where you can probably, again, maybe not cover off Saka, but maybe just try to take that risk and try to basically play with the, in case if you can do that, play a 3-4-3 or basically with three forwards, and then maybe cover off Saka with an Nketiah. I mean, that's an option. I don't know who your fifth midfielder would be in that scenario, because Salah, Matters, Saka, Bowen. I mean, of course, you're not going to have all, but your fifth midfielder, let's say if he's a cheap asset, if he's a filler asset, if he's a budget enabler, I mean, you can definitely bench him and then play Nketiah instead. I mean, that's a strategy, but and then that's probably I'm thinking in terms of covering off Saka so that I can keep Maddison and keep Bowen. But I think, yeah, I mean, the logical move probably, especially if you have a Son in here as well, I think you get in Salah, you sell Maddison, and you sell Bowen, and the safer option is to keep Saka. I'll probably do get in Salah by selling Maddison, and then also probably Saka. I think I can go a bit risky here. I mean, yes, Saka's numbers are okay. Then they aren't that great, but he is returning in games. Penalties, I'm not very sure what's going to happen with penalties. Arsenal are getting penalties. Saka is probably not taking most of them. He's gifting them away. So I'm not sure whether that's going to happen or not. But that definitely reduces his FPL potential. And we don't want that. I mean, we definitely want our players to, be on pens, be the talisman, take a lot of shots, score a lot of goals, give us assists, give us clean sheets and all that stuff. So I think I'm okay selling Saka. Got Salah GameWeek 1. I mean, absolutely crazy. 12.5 to 13 plus. I think it's great. I also kind of went a little early on Salah. I'm not sure which game week, but I think I did go early on him. And I think it's definitely paid off. I mean, not a lot of people were thinking that, Salah is great. Maybe he's lost touch and Liverpool's attack is not clicking and all that stuff. And he's not worth all that money. Yes, the earlier few weeks were difficult, but now you can see the investment is, reaping all the benefits and giving you great numbers. Yes, more and more people are buying Salah, so probably unless you captain him, you're not really gonna give or get a huge boost in terms of rank. But that's okay. I mean, if you've been the early ones or the early adopters for Salah, I think it's great strategy overall. Who to bench out of cash? Tsimikas, Guehi, and Maguire. I mean, I don't want to because I do feel that there is probably potential, but I think Fulham is going to score against United. I think I'll bench Maguire. Cash, Tsimikas, Guehi. I mean, Guehi, yes. Guehi, Maguire both aren't really going to give a lot of attacking threat. There could be something from set pieces and all that stuff, but yeah, I think you've also mentioned the same thing, Maguire and Guehi. I think I'll go Maguire. I don't think so United is in any shape or form to even play football at the moment. They're playing bad. It's just mess. It's just a big mess. And yeah, I mean, I think yes, Maguire's cheaper, and I understand the reason why people have gone there, but I'll just bench Maguire. And this is not against anything against United or having that anger or frustration, being a United fan and all that stuff. I think rationally or logically thinking, I think United will concede this week, and I think benching Maguire is fine. Son, Mpumo, Sterling, McAllister, I'm assuming, Bruno. I mean, if that's the five, Sterling again, I think they're better options. You go cheaper, save some money, invest that money maybe in making certain upgrades. Diaby is one option. Diaby is probably still better. Gordon all is okay, but I think Diaby is definitely good. If you want to go cheaper, there's Palmer, there's Gordon, there's Wang. So there are lots and lots of options. I think the Sterling money is probably getting a bit wasted, and yeah, I mean, if there's a transfer here, you can change him. I think I'll probably change him. I mean, Bruno as well. I'm not sure. Uh, yeah. Apart from, I think, to be honest, apart from Son and Mbomo, I think I'm not sure about all three picks in general. The other three picks in general. Yeah. Neto to Mitoma for one free transfer. We'll have zero in the bank. We'll hold the other transfer for next week. We'll have zero. I'm assuming zero will be the budget. Neto to Mitoma is absolutely fine. Great move. Has potential this week. Everton away could be tricky. I mean, Everton's generally been a decent team. I mean, they're not conceding a lot of XGC. They're not conceding a lot of chances. They look at least a little better in terms of their defense. It's a little more structured and all that stuff. And I think, I mean, yeah, maybe not keeping a lot of clean sheets, but I think Everton is still going to be a trickier game. Nevertheless, I think it's a good move. You've kind of jumping on him a little earlier. You get a good game in Sheffield in game week 12, then it's Nottingham Forest away. Chelsea, Brentford, Burnley, I still feel they're good games. Whom should I start? I mean, Turner also. I don't expect any of them to keep a clean sheet. But just purely from a clean sheet perspective, if I really had to, I don't think so. Forest are gonna keep a clean sheet. It's gonna be a very, very tricky game. And I don't think so. Aston Villa are not going to score. So I think if you ask me, I mean, even if let's say if I had to, gun on my head, if I had to name one option here, who will probably keep a clean sheet? It's probably going to be Onana more than Turner. But then in terms of conceding shots, etc., I think Turner will probably face a lot more shots because it's Aston Villa. Though it's again Aston Villa away, but I still feel I mean, I don't want to, but I probably will start Onana over Turner. I don't expect clean sheets, but yeah, I mean, slight possibility of a clean sheet, maybe a few saves here and there. I think Onana is just about okay. One to start from Taylor, Lamptey, Burn, please help. I think, Burn, I probably won't. Lamptey, I'm not sure whether he's gonna start or not. So I'll probably start Taylor. I know it's still not ideal because it's Crystal Palace, but then it's Burnley at home, and it's going to be Palace's away game where they're again not as strong as they probably are when they're playing at home. So I think, I mean, Taylor, Lamptey is probably very close, but if I had to choose, I'll probably just about choose Taylor. I could also do Anderson and Neto to Tsimikas and Mpomo. I'm assuming this is not the Palace Anderson, and this is the Anderson that I have on my bench. So Anderson and Neto out to Tsimikas, and if it's without a hit, I mean, I think that they're good moves. They're okay moves. Brentford, the issue is that 11 West Ham is okay, but then Liverpool Arsenal is probably what I'm not very, very confident of. So I'll probably just do one move if you can. Yeah. I mean, Neto to Mitoma to me is okay. I mean, you're preparing your team for the next 2 or 3 good fixtures, and I think it's still better than I think Mbomo. Yes, the numbers are good. He's coming along nicely now, but I do think Mbomo has slightly tougher fixtures. So I think there is more potential in going for a Mitoma right now for sure. Gabriel, Neto to Tsimikas and Mitoma. I mean, Gabriel, you don't necessarily have to take out Gabriel because I don't think so. It's an injury there. I don't think so. There's all of a sudden he's lost his place and all that stuff. I think he's absolutely fine. I mean, Neto is. I understand Neto, and probably you are doing this to raise a little bit money. If not, then I think Neto to Mitoma is fine. I mean, Gabriel's okay. He has a trickier fixture this week, but I think longer term, Burnley home in 12, Brentford away, then Wolves home, Luton away. I think they're all good games. Maybe a couple of clean sheets there as well. So I think if I'm probably taking a chance, with, I mean, you don't have to take a chance as such with Simikas because we know that he's probably going to start most games. But if you look at Simikas, maybe after the City game, you have a good 3-run fixture or a 3-game fixture run where you can get him then. So yeah, you don't have to do it right now. Is Adingra a good cheaper option instead of Mitoma? I don't think so. An Adingra can cover off a Mitoma, though they are very cheap. Both of them are cheap, but Adingra has not really done much. Yes, he's played minutes, but even if you see his returns, I mean, they haven't been 2 goals, 1 assist overall. 1 assist against United and then 1 goal against Liverpool. Yes, against 2 trickier teams, but most of the time he's not done much. Yes, he's only started last 5 of the last 6 games he started. And out of that, he's got 1 goal, 1 assist. I still feel Mitoma is a better option. I mean, he's just that kind of a player who can, create something out of nothing, can score a wonderful goal, can create a wonderful assist. I mean, do things that probably Ading has probably not adept at doing at the moment. So I think yes, there is a price difference, but I'll only go for Adingra if I have to, if I don't have the money or I have to, save that money to maybe get in a Salah or maybe make those kind of upgrades. If it's a very valuable upgrade that I'm getting by downgrading a Mitoma to an Adingra, I'll do it. Otherwise, I don't think so. Mitoma and Adingra are in the same bracket in terms of the attacking threat or the potential that they provide. So yeah, that's where I am. Guys, about half an hour to go. Please feel free to add any more questions, anything that you want to ask. We'll also quickly check on Twitter if we have something in terms of leaks. And probably we're going to get some information about Fulham Man United. It's not going to make a huge difference. Do we have a lot of games at 8:30 IST? So, I mean, we could get information about, certain Brighton lineups. We could get some information about Man City. Yes, yeah, I mean, Newcastle Arsenal is at 11, a little later tonight. But let's just quickly check if we have anything worth sharing or worth discussing. Yeah, I don't see anything. Anyways, we'll come back to it in case if we have any information. Of course, we'll share it and we will help you out. But yeah, that's what it is. I think in terms of captaincy, it's pretty much clear. At least in my head, I think it's pretty clear. Haaland definitely looks like the better option. Salah has potential. Son has potential. Son in big games is really good. And I think he's gonna do well. I think Chelsea's gonna concede. And I really hope of a very dominant Tottenham performance because I have three Tottenham players and one of them is a defender, so I don't want Chelsea to score goals because I think yes, Porro can get a clean sheet, can get lucky, maybe Tottenham dominate and they don't concede, Chelsea don't score or do anything on the counter etc. as well. And yeah, if I'm lucky, maybe Porro gets some sort of a attacking return. I know it's probably asking for a lot and it's not going to happen, but I think I definitely think there's potential there. Got the same team as you. I hope that's a good thing. I hope that's a good decision as well. Except you got Bowen for Diaby. I think, as I said, Bowen Diaby in the next 3 or 4 games are probably going to be very close. Yeah, over the next 6-7 game weeks, I think Bowen is going to outscore Diaby, and I think he's a good long-term option. Kind of doesn't force your hand to make one additional move where you have to take him out, take Diaby out, probably change him to Bowen or, make that additional one move. You don't have to do that. You can hold Bowen for all this while. What are my next transfer plans? I think let's see what happens this week. I'm definitely looking at Arsenal in general. I have no Arsenal if you see. So I'm going to keep my options open in terms of going for an Arsenal option. Game week 12 is when Arsenal gets really interesting because they have Burnley at home and then they have to 2-3 really good fixtures before Aston Villa and Brighton, one away and one at home. They can still score goals, but yeah, clean sheet wise may not be the strongest. But yeah, I'm looking at maybe a Gabriel. Let's say if I have to, let go of a Share, for example, or Porro, for example. I mean, these are probably players that I might have to take out. So Gabriel is one option. I can also, let's say, get in Nketiah, for example. I need to still raise some money because I don't have any money in the bank. So I'll probably have to downgrade a Madison. Maybe I can downgrade a Watkins in the next 2 to 3 weeks. But yeah, not next week. But yeah, could downgrade Watkins, maybe go Nketiah, have that additional money. and make certain upgrades elsewhere. Could go Arsenal heavy as well with Madison to a Saka move. I think that's also one option that I can do. So yeah, I mean, a couple of players I can downgrade, and I think that will give me options. But yeah, there aren't really a lot of good options to or okay sort of options to downgrade as such. I mean, I would definitely want to have Son. I would definitely want to have Salah. Diaby for the next 2-3 fixtures is 3-4 fixtures is okay. And downgrading Gordon doesn't really help us a lot because he's anyways very cheap. Haaland is of course not going to go anywhere, so it's probably going to be Watkins, and yeah, maybe a Madison. Buy Walker, I don't think so. I don't think so. I would want to invest in any Man City defense. If I'm investing in a Man City player and I'm okay going attack, I think I can invest in Foden. I think he's a great 1 week punt. If you want to go differential, a bit risky, I think it's a good option to go for. Alvarez is still good as a combination with Haaland, but yeah, I don't think so. I look at any of their defenders at the moment. Better options for sure. Better options, better alternatives available. What made you choose Haaland over captain? Haaland is at home. I think there's a lot more potential. Bournemouth away Bournemouth in general are a very average, a bad defense. Luton at home are still okay. I still feel they're going to give a fight to Liverpool and to Salah. I think there is just better potential for Haaland because of the fact that it's a home game, because of the fact that it's Bournemouth, worse opposition playing away from home. I just feel Haaland has better potential in general, and that's it. Yeah, I understand that Salah could get one additional point for a clean sheet. I think he'll definitely get one additional point for a goal scored as well. But I think when we look at the opposition, when we look at the conditions, etc., where they're playing and all that stuff, I think Haaland has slightly better potential. I do feel that both of them are good options. I think they're close as well, but I do feel Haaland is slightly better. Best defender for the next 4 game weeks. I think if I'm looking at the next 4, I mean, Matty Cash is good. Forest, Fulham, Bournemouth, Tottenham is also, okay, might be a good high scoring game. So I think he's a good pick. Guehi for the next 4 looks absolutely fine, or basically a Crystal Palace defender. United has decent fixtures, but I'm not really expecting a lot from United. Otherwise, a Maguire, etc., could have been okay, but not really huge expectations. West Ham have also decent fixtures in the next 4. Still not very confident about them keeping a lot of clean sheets. Otherwise, Sufal would have been okay. But I think if I'm looking at one, I'll probably Tsimikas is a slightly trickier game, so Tsimikas probably is not the best defender to target. If you already have cash and if you're looking for somebody else, keep an eye on the Brighton defense. I think in the next 3 or 4, they could keep a few clean sheets. Can even their players could even do well from an attacking perspective. So I think that's where I will be overall in terms of the best defender options for the next 3 or 4 weeks. Got Salah, Diaby, Son, Madison, and Neto. Swap Neto for Wang and save a transfer, or let go of Madison for the likes of Bowen. I mean, Neto for Wang is okay. So basically, you'll be swapping Neto for Wang, and you'll be saving a transfer. Yeah, I think I'm okay saving that transfer. I don't want to let go of Madison. I think Tottenham in general have looked like really, really good. Their attack is really good. It's clicking. It's doing really well. Even Johnson coming into the attack has done wonders. Madison, Son are on a different level. Yeah, I think I probably won't make that move for Madison. I won't take him out for the likes of Bowen. Bournemouth definitely not. Even Mitoma, I'll probably look at other ways to maybe make this upgrade from a Wang to an Mbeumo, Mitoma, or a Bowen. But I would not want to let go of Madison. I personally would want to keep Madison. Son or Madison for the Arsenal asset. Didn't understand the question, but if you're asking me to which one should you keep, I think definitely Son. I would personally want to keep both. But yeah. I mean, I think Madison to Saka is going to be a very popular transfer next week because of the fact that, Saka has probably a better fixture in game week 12. It's Burnley home. Spurs Wolves away is still going to be tricky, but I think a lot of people are going to jump on Arsenal assets and Saka in particular, especially the ones who have gone without Saka and they definitely want him. I think they will definitely get him by selling Madison. Share, hold or sell, Udogi and Kabori on the bench. And depends on the other 2 options that you have. If you have Simicast, Cash, I think, and Share is your third defender. Yeah, then you probably have to sell. I think I'll definitely sell one of Share or Udogi. Yeah, I think I'll sell personally. I sell Udogi. Share's illness. Udogi has a 50-50 chance of playing against Chelsea. Maybe okay next week. So just see what player you want to use next week. I mean, it'll be Share against Bournemouth and then Udogi versus Wolves. I think Share definitely has a better fixture. So I'll probably sell Udogi here. If money is no constraint, if you're not moving any other pegs or any other players, etc., I think sell, keep Share, sell Udogi, and suggest a replacement. I mean, if you don't have Simicast, I don't know who your other two defenders are. Simicast is great. Matty Cash is great. If you want to go safer, I think you can go, with the Guehi, bland, boring, but I know I still feel it's a good pick. And yeah, if you want to jump on Arsenal a little bit early, maybe, I mean, getting Arsenal this week isn't very ideal, but yeah. Nunes captain, risky, but I think it's a good. I think it's okay if you want to take a lot of risk, etc. I think it's still an okay move. Still very risky. So if you want to do catch up, if you want to play the Maverick style and all that stuff, if you're okay going risky and not take, I mean, take a lot of risk. Sorry, I think that's absolutely fine. But yeah, I personally won't do it. I think for me it's Haaland. If not Haaland, it's probably going to be Salah. Quahi or Sufal, I think I have more trust in the Palace defense in general. But yeah, if you're looking for a slightly long-term option, maybe you can just keep him on the bench because Crystal Palace have slightly trickier games. I mean, when you look at game week 16, 17, I think those are trickier games. I mean, West Ham you can get away with having Sufal till let's say game week 17, but then I do expect Palace to keep more clean sheets, irrespective of those trickier fixtures. I think till game week 16, 17, Palace are probably going to keep more clean sheets. So you go Guehi. Fixtures wise, I mean, you might say that, Sufal is a better option, but I am not really expecting West Ham to keep a lot of clean sheets. So yeah, I think I'll still go Guehi. Mitoma in, depends on who you're taking out. But yeah, I think it's a good option. Gives you a good next 3-4 fixtures, and I think you could do really well with him. Assuming you read, I did read your last message. I didn't have time to reply regarding Sharon Botman for Simikas. What's your take on it? I think one by one we probably have to remove the Newcastle options, considering the fact that there are better picks available. Also, let's say if you have somebody like a Trippier, etc., I think there's a lot of money invested in a defense with slightly trickier games, and probably there are better options available elsewhere. I think if you want to remove one, I think remove Botman, because Botman's thing. I mean, again, if money's, I mean, share definitely will help you with money, and Botman. I still feel Botman will fall because I think a lot of people will sell him this week. A lot of people will sell him next week. So if the Botman falling is not going to hurt you a lot, I think you sell share and you take advantage of the money that you're getting right now. But in case if you are not using that money next week and you're okay with the funds that you have, I think in that case you basically sell Botman. So basically, if you need the money to make an extra move or an additional move in game week 12, you sell share. But yeah, be wary of the fact that maybe not share, but Botman is definitely going to fall in price. Maybe not today, tomorrow, etc. But definitely before the game week 12 deadline, I think Botman is going to fall at least once. So if you're not using this additional money, I think yeah, I mean, just keep share in case if there's something off with the three defenders that you're having and you're playing 11, and let's say share is bench for some reason, all that stuff. I think he still can give you decent points. I don't think so personally. Botman, is going to be back before the international break, and I think that at least gives you share who has at least one good fixture. I mean, let's assume that Arsenal is probably not a great fixture for them, but when we look at them in game week 12, I think there is potential for you to play share and do well with them, because Bournemouth away, I think there is still it's still okay. So yeah, I'll probably just sell Botman. Udogi or Gabriel, which one to start? Mm, I'll personally start Gabriel, I have my doubts on Udogi starting. It's a 50-50 call. Though fixture wise, I would have, if Udogi was absolutely fit and fine, I think I would have started Udogi, because I do feel that the Tottenham defenders have more potential against Chelsea as compared to the Arsenal defense or the Newcastle defense against either team. But just because the fact that it's Udogi, if this was Porro, like me for example, I would have started Porro over Gabriel. But yeah, in this case, I'll probably start Gabriel, considering the fact that I'm not very sure whether Udogi is gonna start or get minutes. I just transferred in Simicast for Botman, wanted to get an S2, but I don't think so. Estupinian is fit. I don't think so. He's gonna get. I mean, he's not trained at all. I mean, I don't think so. We've seen much of him, and I don't think so. Deserve is also very confident about Estupinian, so I'll probably just. I mean, yeah, keep an eye on his fitness, etc. But he's not gonna come back in a week's time for sure. Areola or Flecken, what made you make that decision? I think, I mean, to be honest, it's not a huge difference, because I do feel Flecken and Areola both are going to concede. Brentford and West Ham both are going to score. Because the fact that maybe, Brentford are playing at home, they might be slightly more attacking, might not be very, very defensive. And, most of their attacks or some of their attacks might lead to shots or more shots as compared to West Ham. And I think them taking more shots might translate into slightly more shots on goal as compared to maybe Flecken getting all of those shots or more of those shots. And I think Areola is known for making a lot of good saves as well and getting us save points. So I think going by that logic, I know it's a far-fetched logic, but I think this is what I'm playing in my head. And yeah, going by that logic, I think Areola, it's not really a huge difference. I mean, you can sit here and definitely convince me that Flecken is probably a better option. And if you can, we'll see if that change happens in another 15 minutes. But I don't think so. There's a huge difference in both of them. I think it's a pretty close call, and I think overall I still maintain the fact that I think that both of them are going to concede. So clean sheet, I don't think so. Anyone is getting a clean sheet there. I have to sell Watkins or Nketiah. Which one? Not selling Watkins, not selling Nketiah. I mean, if you have to sell one, sell Nketiah against Newcastle. And definitely not Watkins. I think Watkins for the next 4 looks like a very good option. I hope it made a lot of sense, Ansh. I mean, gives you the required clarity. I mean, happy to help, and let's just hope what we are planning in our heads and all these narratives that we have in our brain, I think they just come off well and work well for us. I mean, last couple of weeks have been okay. I'm not going to jinx it, but I think from, I don't know, maybe from 1.1ish million, we've kind of shot back up again. Yeah, we are 2 million in game week 8, and from that we've come to 470k, 500k. I'll probably make it that. So yeah, not bad. I mean, we are on the up, and let's just hope and let's just pray that it kind of continues. Start Lamptey or Gabriel. I'm gonna stick my neck here and probably say Lamptey, because he has a better fixture, and whether he plays or not, I'm not 100% sure, but I think I'll still take my chances with the Lamptey here. I've got 0.9 in the bank. Who do I sell Solanke for? Or do I bench him and use the 2 free transfers? I mean, if you can bench him. You don't have to sell him. Going with an Nketiah also this week doesn't make a lot of sense. It's a tricky fixture. I mean, he can still do well, but I think, I think I'll probably just save, get more clarity, get more information, have a little bit more understanding in terms of what's happening with the other players some of the players that we're targeting. And then probably take a better call next week. I don't think so. This is a week where we necessarily have to make a move. I think we can save. I know it's not a natural instinct for an FPL manager to save the transfer and look for more information and all that stuff, but I think it's absolutely fine. Sometimes there is a need to be a little bit more patient in FPL, and I think that really pays off. I'm telling you, it does pay off sometimes, and I think in this case it probably would. I mean, so if you have to, you sell Nketiah, not Watkins for sure. I'm only playing Areola because I own Bowen. I mean, yeah, it kind of doesn't make sense to play Flecken against Bowen, because it kind of defeats the whole purpose. So you're hedging your bets in one direction, and I think I think it's absolutely fine. I mean, that logic absolutely works for me, and let's just hope it works for you. And I'm hoping it works for me. So I mean, somebody's gonna lose there, but yeah, that's what it is. You brought in Guehi for Udoki, which is pretty okay. Which three should I start between Cash, Guehi? Cash is twice. I'm assuming it's one Cash. But yeah, Cash, Guehi, Romero, and Burn. So basically, you have to start three. I'll probably bench Burn. Yeah, I'll definitely start Cash. I'll definitely start Guehi, and I'll definitely start Romero as well. I think I'll just bench Burn. Thinking of benching Burn was Arsenal. I think yeah, that's what I think too. Should I bench between Mitoma, Bowen, Wang? That's a tricky one. I think all three have good fixtures. Going by outright potential, I think Bowen and Mitoma have double-digit haul potential. I've personally not seen that with Chan SCS yet. I mean, he's scored 10 points in game week 8 against Aston Villa. But yeah, I mean, and he will give you goals. It's not like Neto, who has a lot of good assist threat and good creative threat. I think Chan is gonna get goals. But yeah, if I'm, it's a tough one. It's very unfair to whosoever is probably gonna get benched, because probably he's gonna outscore the other two who are playing in the 11. But yeah, if I had to bench one with a very heavy heart, I think I don't want to bench Chan because it's against Sheffield. This is tricky. Yeah, so I think against Everton at home, Sheffield, Everton away. Sorry, I mean of course Brighton's playing Everton away. As I can't make up my mind. Very tough. Very very tough. I think again, if I have to take one name, I'll probably just. Just bench Wang. I don't want to do it, but maybe Sheffield United turn up at home and do something, or create something, or something happens by which they keep a clean sheet somehow. Yeah, I definitely won't be comfortable. I think Mitoma and Bowen have slightly higher upside and slightly more potential, and that's the only reason I'm benching Wang. But I'll be very very scared of benching Wang against Sheffield United. I mean, yeah, the next comment by Ansh is Chan scores a hat trick, right? I mean, that's the hope, and that could happen as well. But yeah, not to scare you, but it's. I want to start Chan. Think of maybe dropping Wishart to start him. Who the hell is? I mean, Wishart. So dropping Visa and starting dropping Visa, starting Chan. Yeah, I think that's okay. That's a fair assessment. West Ham probably could be a tricky one. I think the screen kind of dropped out for a second. I think we're back. Visa is okay. I mean, you drop Visa, you play Chan. That's absolutely fine. Watt to Mbomo and Neto to Adingra. I think that's okay as well. Yeah, don't have a problem with that. I don't have Haaland. Do I get Darwin for Solanke? He doesn't hurt my rank. Or keep Alvarez and hope for the best. I mean, Darwin's not going to hurt your rank, to be very, very honest. I think... I don't think so. He can cover off an informed Haaland, but... I mean, yeah, I think... I mean, I would definitely want to make a plan to get back Haaland. In whatever way or form you can get him, maybe a -4 as well. I think I'll take my chances there, and I'll take my chances there. Are you rolling? Seems like a roll type game. I mean, yeah, it seems like a rolling type week where nothing much is to do unless you don't have a playing 11 and you have a very weak bench. And you maybe you're one of those unlucky ones who has Udogi, who has Botman, who has Share, and then you'll be in a pickle. But otherwise, I think, yeah, it's probably one of those weeks where you get more information, see football, and then make some assessments, and probably have two free transfers to make better calls next week. It auto-corrected. I mean, yeah, it did, but yeah, we kind of figured that a little later, and the screen froze. But yeah, That's okay. A little bit of chaos is on a stream is absolutely fine, and unless it's it's probably not manageable chaos. I think this is pretty okay. Lamptey for the next few fixtures currently have Colville. I'm not sure about his position in terms of his team. I think he's definitely not a nailed starter week in week out. I think he's there will be times where he's gonna get benched. There will be times that he's probably gonna get come from the bench and play, maybe get you those one pointers and all that stuff. But yeah, I it's tough. I think I'll probably look elsewhere. Gordon or Archer? Definitely Gordon. I mean, Newcastle is still a very good attack. They have the highest XG among all the teams this season. That shows that they're quite attacking. They're not going to sit back and defend. I think it's going to be a good game. I think both teams are going to score goals, and I think there's a good chance that Gordon can get something in this game. I'm asking, would you drop Visa? I mean, yeah, that's what I said. I'll drop Visa and play Chan. I'll do that for sure. Yes. West Ham, I know it's a home game. West Ham is going to be a slightly trickier game, trickier fixture, trickier opposition, and I think it's just Sheffield United, right? If Wolves was playing, let's say, like an Everton, for example, or Crystal Palace, for example, I think the conversation there would have been different. But I know it's a away game or a home game for Sheffield and a away game for Wolves, but I do feel that there's a lot of potential in Chan, so I'll definitely play Chan. Yeah. Gordon Archer, I've already mentioned. Definitely Gordon, potential in Gordon could do well against Arsenal as well. And the way I'm seeing this game is probably going to be a 1-1, a 2-2 sort of a game where I think both teams will concede. Okay, guys, about 5 minutes to go. I'll just quickly check if we have anything to share in terms of Twitter, in terms of any leaks, in terms of information, which is probably going to be useful to you, to me, to all of us. I mean, I'm hearing some information about Foden starting. I don't think so. A lot of people are betting on Foden just about yet. I mean, in terms of Man City, I think it's Alvarez, Haaland, or maybe nobody else. Yeah, I mean, even in the terms of transfers, right? Alvarez is the most bought in player, transferred in player this week. Then it's Walker. Yeah, I still won't go there. I mean, yes, Walker did get 8 points and 11 in game week 6 against Nottingham Forest, but I do think they're better options. Haaland the third. I mean, yeah, Foden is nowhere in the picture, to be very honest. 80,000 managers have transferred him in. 10% ownership is still quite high. I was actually expecting him to be a lot lower. But yeah, could be a good game. I think will give us a lot of information, a lot of ideas as well. I mean, Man City generally tend to do a lot stronger at this time of the year. I think they always tend to start a bit slow and then they, switch gears. And considering the fact that they have a lot of players coming back from injury, coming and reaching full fitness, I think Christmas, December, all this time is generally a good time for them, and that's where the league shapes and kind of takes the next direction in terms of which teams are actually going to compete for the title, and probably going to also, I mean, we get some idea in terms of which are the good teams who are probably a slightly better in terms of finishing in the top 4, Champions League, Europa League, and all that stuff. So I think it's going to be a good week. I'm looking forward to a lot of good games. Again, not expecting anything. Being a United fan, not expecting anything in terms of our performances. They've been trash. They've been really bad. I haven't even seen the last game or so. I would just didn't even want, but had to see the highlights to understand what's happening. But yeah, it's just been disheartening, and yeah, it's. Yeah, I mean, United fans in a bad place. That's all I can say. Yeah, Newcastle Arsenal is going to be very interesting tonight. I think Spurs Chelsea will also give us a lot of insight in terms of how Spurs do, because of course, Chelsea is definitely a trickier opposition. Yes, they aren't really clicking along at the moment. They aren't keeping a lot of clean sheets. They aren't really scoring, left, right, and center. It's still a team in transition. There are a lot of new players, new manager, and all that stuff. But yeah, I think 2 or 3 really interesting fixtures. I think Salah versus Haaland, that's going to be a good debate in terms of the captaincy. But I'm just happy that FPL this year has thrown us some curveballs. It's not very simple that you get one template team and you just stick to that team for the entire season, and you probably just don't have to really make a lot of moves, etc. You don't have to change your captaincy and all that stuff. I think this year we do have a lot more decisions to make. Should I start Turner or Areola? I think if I'm starting one, yeah, I don't think so. Forest are gonna keep a clean sheet against Aston Villa. I think I'll start Areola for sure. Ben Saliba for Guehi. Yeah, I think I'm okay benching Saliba. I think Guehi, logically, Guehi makes more sense. It's against Burnley and potential for clean sheet. Not expecting much from either player in terms of their attacking threat and all that, but I think just purely by the fixture and purely by the potential, I think Guehi has a higher potential of keeping a clean sheet. So that's where I will be. Start Guehi over the Arsenal options, over the Newcastle options as well. I think I'm personally not seeing a clean sheet in that game. Let's see what happens. But yeah, that's where I will be. Guys, a minute to go. Any last questions? We'll quickly take those and then we'll call it a day. Thank you so much again for joining. In case if you're new around here, in case if this was helpful, please feel free to like the stream. It really helps us, motivates us to do better and come each week and help you guys out. Of course, if you also are new around here and if you've not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the Insanely Football YouTube channel as well. We do these headline streams. We do a lot of other content on Instagram as well. You can check us out at Insanely Football on Instagram. I think it's going to be very, very useful for you. I'll just quickly check my team as well. In case if you've not made your transfers, please do that now. I mean, yes, the servers and all have been acting all fine and they haven't really acted out, but anything would happen anytime. My captain Haaland, vice captain is Salah. Players are in place. Yeah, pretty sorted. Play Burn or Taylor. It's tough. I think I'll take my chances with Taylor. I mean, yeah, in terms of potential, you don't think that Taylor's probably going to outscore Burn in general as well. I mean, Burnley are not a team who are known for their clean sheets, and he's no best defender in the FPL right now. But I think I'll still take my chances with Taylor. I mean, what's to lose, right? I mean, that's what we say, but yeah, this might be a week where Burn comes up with a 15-pointer and you will be like, why the hell did I do that? Logically, it's Taylor, but if you feel that you still want to go with a stronger option in terms of the stronger team playing another strong team, I mean, in my head only, that logic doesn't really, make a lot of sense. So I'll personally play Taylor. Guys, that's deadline. 4:30. Thank you so much again for joining. I hope this was helpful and useful for you. I hope your answer or your questions were answered, and this I could help you in terms of deciding what players to go for, what directions to go for. Make those 50-50 calls a little bit easier for you. And as always, have a good week. Do watch some football as well. Of course, it always helps us when we have that eye test and we have all that information in front of us. It really makes our life easier in terms of FPL, because yes, I'm sitting here talking about certain players. You may be watching other content creators as well, and they're also suggesting certain players, certain picks, and all that stuff. But when you're seeing it yourself and you're witnessing all of that good stuff by your own, I think the understanding becomes a lot easier and a lot clearer. And that's what I always tell everybody, that you should definitely watch football. Of course, it's always a lot more fun as well. So yeah, that's it for the day. Let's go United, can't waste time. I mean, the worst part is maybe it's a good thing. I don't know, it's a bad thing or not. First game of the weekend destroys the weekend if we lose it. But the good part is if we lose and it's the first game, you can get over it very quickly, because there's a lot more coming up as well. So let's see. News and share. Didn't see anything. Not sure why the screen changes or keeps on changing, but yeah, I don't think so. There was concrete news on share. A lot of people are saying that he might still play, but yeah, no concrete or confirmed information there. But anyways, let's just hope if you started him, he plays, and if you've benched him, he doesn't play like me. But yeah, cool. So we'll call it a day. Thank you so much again for joining. I will be seeing you next week. Do join in if you if you like the stream, and if you have questions for next week as well. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And take care. Have a good day. Have a good week ahead as well. Keep smiling, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye bye.